car is so nice to drive. And I noticed another thing, you know, a lot of cars can go fast, like BMWs, right? I mean, Audis, you name it, right? But not a lot of them have that kind of that gives the kind of impression to other people that they have to fuck off the road. I love it. I love it. You come from far behind, right? The guys will be like, oh, it's a BMW, I better fuck off. They just move away. And you're not even driving aggressively, you know, it's just yeah, I love it. So this is the X540e. Yes, it took me quite a while. The car was launched, but the car was selling like hotcakes, and BMW had trouble even having them in showrooms. So everyone is just snapping them up. Why? How much is the X5? You used to remember. How much is one of these huge, big, luxurious SUVs? If you're thinking about 700,000, you are correct. They used to be around 700,000 ringgit, right? And let alone one that has 300 horsepower. You remember the X535i or something like that? So what happened is this now, because Malaysia, we have all sorts of all this interesting customized EV thing going on, and long story short, this car with, you look at all these M Sport bits, alright? Full iDrive, panoramic roof, and it's a plug-in hybrid X540e. It's 388,000. Yep, 20,000 ringgit more than what you used to pay for an X3. Yep, now you get a full-fledged X5, one of the highest spec X5. I mean, not the X5M, right? At only 388,000, right? So this actually started from Volvo's XC90 push, you know, which is only 20,000 ringgit more than this one, but that is bonkers. That is a T8 inscription, all right? That car, when you compare the specs, this can't be mentioned in the same breath, because that one is just full-fledged, fully spec'd, all right? But this one is not bad either, because you have everything that you needed. You have the all-round, you know, protection, where it uses sensors to warn you, you know, when you're departing, when you are getting off the lanes or almost going into another person and all that. Automatic sensors and all that. It has all this, but of course it doesn't have the kind of semi-autonomous driving that the XC90 has. Alright, let's get everything out. Let's mention everything. 313 combined horsepower from a 2-liter engine. So Rotax is a 2-liter Rotax, alright? And it has an electric motor at the back. No, in between the gearbox or something like that, alright? But the batteries are at the back, alright? So combined is about 313 horsepower, 450 Newton meters of torque, which is very good, and which gives you a very good pickup and all that. One thing I really like about this car is that the charging of its battery and the discharging of its battery, both sides are so aggressively programmed, which I really like. That means, right, at any given chance, this guy will charge any form of, will turn any form of kinetic power into electric power stored in its batteries. But at any given moment, it will use it without hesitation. So even without charging the car at home, even without charging it, you just drive it daily, right? You will get the benefits of all this technology, because the car actively charges. And like just now, I was at a roundabout when I need to pick up, because this car hasn't been charged for the past 5 days. All right, but just now when I move out from the roundabout, it will still use up whatever power it has to help me launch. So the launching of this car, every single time, it feels very different from a usual combustion engine revving up, trying to build up torque and all that. It feels very different. It just moves, and then the engine comes in to pull it further. Very, very nice sensation. I like it a lot. Alright? In terms of positioning about this car, it is outright sporty. It has a very, very sporty drive, but it has a very pliant suspension as well. However, the pliancy that you felt in its suspension is solely through the means of making them soft. So this car has quite a bit of unwanted lateral movements. It is very different from the pliancy of the Q7, whereas the Q7 is a very controlled manner. You can go over a speed bump fast, and then it just absorbs everything and stabilizes the car, and then you continue going. This guy is different. When you go over a speed bump at a certain amount of speed, even though it's pliant, it will continue to do this boom, boom, boom. It will continue to do that for a few times until the car stabilizes. So that's the biggest difference between the Q7 and this one. So one is a very high-tech approach, you know, very well done, and this one is a bit just, you know, soft and then trying to cope with it. The XC90 felt slightly stiffer than this car. I mean, the XC90 you hear a lot more times whereby the suspension goes, you know, that kind of sensation. So the XC90 has a stiffer suspension than this, but in terms of handling, cornering and all that, right, there's very, very little in between them. The Q7, this one, and the XC90. There's very little in between them, but what makes the difference is the steering. Alright? The BMW steering just feels, yes, there's very little feel in it, but the way they make their steering, they always have a way to make it that you have the confidence of throwing it into a corner and then goes around it, and it's a more sporty drive. Alright, now BMW calls them SAVs instead of SUVs because to them U is utility. So BMW did not create these cars for you to carry flower pots at the back, you know, or your morning fish market tapao. No. It's for activity. So that's why they fitted a roof rack on top with the bike racks and all that. They want you to do more things with this car, not carry more stuffs with this car. That's the biggest difference. In terms of BMW speak, you know, they want it to be an SAV, not an SUV. Alright? So overall, how would I rate this car? I like this car a lot. What are you doing? Oh my god, you're not stopping here, right? Fuck! That is very dangerous to do. This is the fast lane. Oh well. So, yeah, you hear wind noise, but it's not caused by the panoramic roof, alright? It is actually caused by the bike rack, because I don't see bike racks as something very aerodynamic, so yeah, it's making quite a bit of noise that we get here. So overall, I like how this car drives a lot. In terms of interior, it's no match to the XC90. XC90 has a much higher quality interior. Actually, even the Q7. I don't like the design of the Q7 interior. The design to me just looks so cold, so unemotional. But in terms of fit and finish, right, you can't fault it. It's just solid, absolutely solid, the Q7 interior. This interior is nice as well. I love the design of BMW interiors. They know what they're doing, alright? But it's nowhere near the luxurious materials used in the XC90. Alright? But it's not a bad interior. But all of them are better than the GLE interior. Actually, right, you shouldn't buy the GLE because, you know, last time Mercedes, they sell an old C-Class with the new C-Class shell. I'm not joking, okay? Mercedes did do that. They took an old C-Class, but they give it a new shell and pretend it's a new car and sell it. That's the CLC, alright? And then Mercedes took a C-Class and put it in an E-Class shell and sell it like an E-Class. But that one is fair because the interior, exterior, everything is different. It's just the platform is a C-Class. But now the GLE is actually the old M-Class, and they just rebody it and give it a new name and they call it the GLE. But the interior, everything, the mechanical bits, everything is the old car. It's a wallowy old SUV that is very comfortable, very reliable, but it's just it's not even slightly nice to drive. It's totally not nice to drive when, in terms of modern SUVs, in terms of handling and all that, right? The M-Class is just poor at that, but it's very comfortable and reliable. That one I'm sure it is, alright? And it has such an old interior in the M-Class or GLE. So overall, in the luxury SUV or SUV battle, right? I really have to give it to these two guys, the X5 and the XC90, because of course the Q7 has a disadvantage when it comes to pricing because it is fully CBU, alright? It has its merits. It does the suspension and sporty handling tuning better than any one of its competition, alright? It has such a composed suspension, a very high-tech or very well-tuned, well-calibrated one, alright? But to top everything overall, what you get, what you spend and all that, right, is really either this guy or the XC90, alright? I personally prefer the XC90 exterior design and interior design because it's just another level. But this guy is also very good looking, especially from the rear. I don't know why. This X5 generation, right, I really love it from the rear. But in terms of interior fit and finish, nah, it's alright. It's previous gen BMW stuff, but I'm sure it will be very, very different. Now that you look at the G12 and the G30, right, it will be very, very different. So yeah, that's how it is. It's a very nice car to drive, very fast, very rapid, fuel efficient, very high tech, and I love the steering wheel. The XC90 steering wheel is just so dull. This one, right, looks so good, and it has pedal shifters. Pedal shifters is a very important thing for me. I love pedal shifters, and I think they are a very important safety device. But given that the XC90 does without the pedal shifters, I kind of feel like, you know, I feel like I'm not wearing seat belts when I'm driving a car without pedal shifters. Yeah, that's how I feel like. Alright, see you. I've arrived at my working place. I'm late. I think it's here. Oops. Actually, I think I just simply parked my car here. Alright, see you. Okay guys, what I have with me here, the X5 xDrive40e. Yeah, the plug-in hybrid X5 that has been the talk of town after Volvo launched the XC90 and BMW brought in this one, this boy here. So what's the biggest news about this car? Of course, it's no longer news, right? It's 388,000. It's an impossible pricing for an X5. Alright, it's amazingly affordable because back then X5s are like what, 500,000-600,000, right? Let alone this is a plug-in hybrid. This is you know, you can charge your car and drive it like I don't know, daily to office and back, and then you don't need to use a single drop of petrol. But if you didn't charge your car for a month or two, there's no issues. Alright, there's no issues with it. Alright, so this is the X5. Now, the biggest difference between this and the usual X5 is in boot space, okay? There is slightly lesser. Okay, you get like, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches of reduction in terms of height of the floorboard, so that removes quite a bit of boot space, but it is still decent. Look at, if I remove the tonneau cover, see, it is still decent, but no longer as deep as the usual ones. But everything is still there. Everything is still there. Alright, so that's the boot. There are levers to drop the seats at the back here. No, there are no levers to drop the seats. Alright. the best thing about the X5 against its competition, right, is this thing here. Alright, see this part where it drops? This one. This part. Okay, so it's sort of split fold so that this piece is not as big or go up as high. Alright, that's the best part about it. Let's come to the interior. It has Harman Kardon speakers, okay, high quality sound system. Of course, it's not the highest quality that they get with this car, which I'm not sure if it's Bang & Olufsen or it's definitely not Bowers & Wilkins. They haven't started with Bowers & Wilkins at this point. They only started with them in the 7 Series, alright? Of course, you get keyless. The keys are beautiful because this is like an M Sport variant. Look at the keys. Woohoo! Nice, right? Beautiful keys. Of course, not as beautiful as the one in the 5 Series or the 7 Series. Okay. See, while BMW Speedo clusters might look like really analog, but after you started, you realize, right, they were actually one of the first ones who integrate LCD. You see, this entire part here is LCD and analog. So that makes the car feel, I mean, they always emphasize a lot on legibility. Okay, whatever technology you use, first and foremost, you have to be able to easily get people distinguish what are they looking at, and BMWs are masters in this. Okay, in terms of in-car information related stuffs, BMWs are masters in this. iDrive, no one is still as good as them in doing an integrated infotainment system. All right, and then they invented these. Look at the iDrive controller. Now every single car maker is having some sort of, you know, copycat solution. This one as well, the way you shift gears like this, the electronic shifter, and it gives haptic feedback. This has also become an industry standard whereby everybody copied it. Okay, so BMW is leader in this respect. There's a few things in the past 10 years, right? There are a lot of in-car technology that is being pioneered by BMW. A lot of people were talking about all the eco stuff, right? But they were the very first one to have brake energy recuperation in most of their cars, in a lot of their lineup. They have it already. So that is old news already now. Okay, this is now 2017. Okay, the X5 xDrive, of course, even though it's affordable, but they have to still keep the prices down. So the leather that they pick for this car, right, is actually the I wouldn't say the highest grade of leather that they have. Okay, what is this? Yeah. Okay, it's making some stupid noise. All right, even the plastics, some plastics are rather low rent. So in terms of interior use of material, this is in no way comparable to the XC90, but it is not a bad interior as well, because BMWs, they look more sporty, they feel more sporty. So this is a very sporty interior. Moreover, this car debuted in what, 2011 or 2012, alright? So it's been some time now. The XC90 was just launched, what, 2015 or 16, okay? So the back here is nice. In terms of space, let me show you in terms of space. Can you see me? Even though there is a mechanical panoramic roof, I still get very decent headroom. Alright, and then I get rather good leg room. But is it class leading? No, definitely not. But it's okay, it's usable, but it's not as roomy or as spacious as the Q7 or the XC90. But I'm fine, I'm perfectly fine at the back here. It's just that I won't be able to do the usual, you know, there's not enough room for me to put my fat legs on top of each other. Yeah, something that I could do in the Civic. Alright, you get these. This might be optional, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure. So yeah, the back here is okay, it's comfortable, it's reasonably spacious. One thing that I quite like is that the center tunnel is almost non-existent, and then you have a very flat center seat, so all three passengers can sit comfortably. Alright, the seats are decent, but rather straight. You look at the seat back, it's rather uptight. Okay, so you don't get as relaxed a position as you would want in a car like this, because imagine if you're able to drop the seat back and relax a bit, right? It'll be a lot more comfortable. So yep, this is it. Why is it like that? Because there is an option for X5 with 7-seater. Now that's that option there. Alright, I'll let you have a good look at the exterior. X5s has always have the exhaust integrated in the bumper. It is a design legacy thingy. They've stayed true to it. That's the Hofmeister kink. Alright, in the new 5 Series, they have a line that runs here that follows the Hofmeister kink and blend it up to the top, which looks really good. But this is the previous generation one. You get keyless, all 4 doors, and this is like the air breather that BMW started. I think a lot of people will follow that as well. I mean, in passenger cars, of course, this thing is in a lot of race cars and all that. Alright, and I like the fact that this is one BMW where the bonnet line actually hides into the grille, so you don't get that cut line, right? You look at a lot of modern BMWs, they have that cut line that runs across. This one looks really good without that. See? And I still think this car is a looker. It is a looker. Okay? In terms of specifications, it's quite fully prepped, seriously. Every BMW comes with a concierge service. So if you buy a BMW now, right, automatically you get concierge service. What that gets you is that you can click the link to watch my video on concierge service, but then it is like an in-car Siri. But it's not some software talking to you, it's a real ass human being talking to you, answering whatever you want to ask them. What's the largest planet? Where can I go to the best Arabic restaurant? You can ask anything, she'll do it for you. That's BMW concierge service. Alright, so anything else you want to know about the car, let me know. Appreciate if you can subscribe my videos if you like what I'm doing, and support us by sharing our e-magazine as well, evomalaysia.com. And we're very happy that you guys actually responded, because since we started heavily doing YouTube videos, right, we noticed a surge in people reading our magazine, which we're really grateful that you guys are supporting us. Alright, so I guess that's it. Oh, someone mentioned why I never show the bonnet. I'll explain to you why. Because every car, right, the opening of the bonnet is different. And if I spend like, what, 4 or 5 minutes here trying to figure out where the lever is, I'm gonna go like, forget about it. Yeah, that's why I never bothered to show the engine. And you can download way nicer engine photos. Alright guys, see you. That's about it. I'm actually at a Lamborghini and all that while waiting, so I do this because I got no time. I got absolutely no time. Cheers guys.